This is the Crusaders last year using this style of shape. Now, yes, they have little subtleties in their game that are completely different, but I just want to show you the setup. We've all seen the setup before. We've probably played in it or coached it. Little tip pass. And I love how hungry Richie is here for that offload within the shape. We see a player in space. Ethan Blackadder thinks, well, I know that Richie's going to be there for the offload, so let's punch my nose through contact, reach forward with the offload, and find the ball player. Hey guys, welcome back to another week in the Bricks Club. Today we're talking about shape. We're going to talk through 1-3-3-1. I'm going to show a lot of different examples, a lot of different structures, how people use the shapes, and different way of doing it. But I am going to touch on the most basic, the most well-known, most well-used shape that we see across the game of rugby, and it's called the 1-3-3-1. Now, bear with me as I get through these first few slides, a lot of information, a lot of details, but then I'll show you a few examples on videos of actually real game footage of people using shape and why it's so important in the modern game to be organised. Yes, we just want to play quick, play rugby, play what's in front of us, whatever the options are, but having a shape allows the team to talk to each other, be a little bit predictable for each other so that we know where each other's going to be, and then we can get really organised to break down defences. I had the best advice that we have a structure to get to unstructured as soon as possible, and I believe in that so much. An offload, a line break. If we can go phase one with a line break, that's better than getting into our shape and structure. We're always trying to get an offload, get a line break. We're always trying to break the line with our shape. It's not about just staying in shape and being predictable and easy to defend. We want to get excited on attack and break tackles and get our attack going to score points. So here's the first look at 1-3-3-1. Now, here are the sidelines, bang and bang. So that's the full width of the field. I've set up a wide ruck here, and see we've got 11, 15, and 6. The first person I want you to look at is number 6 and also number 7. So those two are the 1 and the 1 and the 1-3-3-1. Now I've got 3 forwards here, 3 forwards here, and then we've got the 7 and the 6. So we've got 1, 3, 3, 1. So when we get into that unstructured play, when we get a ruck in the wide channel, we fall into 1-3-3-1, and that's why it's given the name 1-3-3-1. Now here comes a lot more detail, and I'm not expecting you to look at all this, but I just wanted to show this slide to see what you can get really deliberate as a coach. This is what I'm really trying to get my players organised. So if we firstly just have a look at the middle 6 forwards, so those 6 forwards that are working really hard for me in the middle. So middle 6 forward, predictable and reliable for our bosses to create attacking options with. So it just means that I want those middle 6 forwards to be always organised so that my playmakers, my 10s, my 12s, my fullbacks, my halfback knows where those middle 6 are. If we've got them organised, then all of a sudden we have a lot of shape. We're filling the field. We're not just running around like a mob that you quite often see in junior rugby. We're actually asking the defence to defend us across the whole field. So that's why those middle 6 are really important. Now the number 9, following the ball, fast ruck speed, and looking to work with 11, 6, and 7s, 14s, so those forwards and backs that are in the wide channels, really looking to work with those people. Now here's the key to it, my 10, 15, 12, 13, as I mentioned, so directing play, organising ball players, getting calls into those 3 and 3 forwards, so those middle 6, just making sure that we can play exploit options and use them. If we see an opportunity wide, we can either go behind those 3 or use them, link with them, get a little link play out the back off those 3. Now, crucially in 1-3-3-1, so we've obviously got that 6 that we talked about before and that 7. So flanker and winger, one works, one stays. So I'm big on that, is that we're not always just being really predictable and staying. We'll talk a little bit about why I want one of those two going looking for work. It's really important. But as you can see here, as a coach, this slide's really for me because now I know what I want out of my players. So when selecting, if I'm looking at a 6 or looking at a 7, do they offer me the ability to work into this? And if I've got my middle 6, are these people here got the fitness, the skill set to be able to play the type of game that we want based off what I'm asking? Same with 9s, same with my game drivers. And it's really clear for them to see how they fit into their attacking picture and what we're trying to achieve off each phase in each play. Within any shape or structure, you really should be able to hit pause on the screen and see 12 organised bodies. Pete, there's 15 players on the field. So if we have a look here, we've obviously got 11, 15 and 6 in a ruck. So generally they're off their feet or they're securing the ball, locking down that ruck. So they're there. So we've got 12 other bodies. And as you can see here, this big ring around everyone else just says that we can hit pause and we can see who is in our shape and who maybe hasn't worked hard enough to get into shape, who's constantly not getting organised so that we can use it. So we can see here that this is really important that at any given time, hit pause, we should see 12 players organised and in shape, ready to be an attacking option. I do just want to point out this word here, so window. This window here is really key to have open. Often we see these three forwards sitting up here, and it just means that they get a little bit too flat. If we say hit the 4, so 9 hits the 4 here, we go out the back to the 10 who's worked around here. I want my 10 to be able to work into this space, work into the window, and then attack with these three forwards. We can even go at the back to 12. But as you can see, if this window isn't open, I often call it the window of opportunity. With any shape or structure, doesn't matter, 2-4-2, 1-3-3-1, whatever you're trying to do, there has to be separation between the two pods or however you want to set it up so that players can work. If they're flat, the window's closed, it's really hard to attack and we're a little bit one-dimensional. A key thing within attack shapes that started to come in is 9s running and 9s working hard away from rucks. We can see here this 9 from the ruck here is going to get out. I'm defending at second defender, but I'm also trying to get eyes on where the attack is, what's happening, what's going on. I need to be looking and eyes up. 9 gets out and I have to turn in. I have to respect that 9 running. I turn in and then leave that opportunity for these two runners to go through holes. And that's really important within a shape because I think 9s can do a really good job of getting eyes off the attackers, eyes off 10s, eyes off forward runners. So if that's something you're looking to play at, I think it's a really good thing to do to ask your 9s to start running more, because if they're not, they're just letting all that defence drift off, and we're going to get into some really clear examples of that now. So here we go, 1-3-3-1. We've got a halfback, we've got 1, 2, 3 with a nice little boss out the back. We've got 1, 2, 3 with a nice little block out the back. Oh, and we'll have a wide ruck, a wide forward, and a wide forward. There's probably a forward in that ruck there. So we've got our 1-3-3-1 system in place just from general play. Now, as we step this through, we can see first carry. I really want to now speak about why it's important to have inside runners and people working in and around the 9. So this player here, the blind winger. Oh, let me get my pen out. The blind winger. This person here is doing a great job of being an inside option off 9. These eyes are having to respect that, and these eyes are turning in now as well. You'll see that it has an effect of just freeing up our 10 to have a little bit more time and space. Often when nothing's happening, which I'll show you an example, the 10 just has a brick wall in front of them. So blind winger does a good job here. We'll step it through. You can see that 10 gets a little bit of width, ends up being in a nice little channel, not in front of the defender. Gets sideways, little cut. We've all of a sudden got good energy going through the ball. Now, I do just want you to keep tracking that blind winger. So instead of going back to the wing, blind winger is still working hard to track. Let's see how this play unfolds. It's a good gain line carry. So blind winger's now working across to get into position inside 10. And you can see here that these two defenders are starting to get a little bit unsure about what's going on with this person. So if this person wasn't here, easy. It's I'll defend you, but bang, now all of a sudden this is making things really awkward and hard as a defender. So we step this through now. Ball comes. You can see that second defender's having to come in a little bit unsure, little show on the inside, stepping out, and look what we've created purely just from that person being on the inside of your first receiver. So we've got two defenders that have had to jam. They're a little bit unsure. Bang, we've got holes, and I'm pretty sure that we move this ball and we get to that wide channel and make massive meters. So purely just from having an inside person, a 7, a 6, a winger, someone working off their wing, working off the edge and being an inside threat is creating space within the attack shape. Now, the absolute flip side of that is we have a look at this picture here. So we've got no inside threat. We've got a 10 here, and this is the wide channel. And if we have a look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that don't have to worry about any inside threat or any person running. And they've just got an opportunity to all have a look at 10. And as you can see, the 10 feels pretty vulnerable. They don't feel much of an attacking threat. So literally just having some people playing inside 10, a little bit of show of the ball inside, outside, any action that you can get around your 9 and 10 is really going to help your shape out. It really takes the sting out of the defense. So let's see how this plays out. We step it through, balls come, defense is feeling really good about this. They can get off the line quick and really get up and shut down any space that the attack's got well behind the advantage line, and the attack just doesn't have the same sort of sting to it. Just want to give you a good example from the Crusaders. Now, we've just spoken about a really common shape, 3 forwards set up in a pod formation with a back sitting out the back. Now, this is the Crusaders last year using this style of shape. Now, yes, they have little subtleties in their game that are completely different, but I just want to show you the setup. We've all seen the setup before. We've probably played in it or coached it, but it's just the intent of ball play and looking for an offload. So I want to talk through that little detail now. So they're in shape, but they make the shape work. If we step this through, so ball comes, little tip pass, and I love how hungry Richie is here for that offload within the shape. So that's a team just making the shape work for them. Now they're into broken play, and they end up scoring from this, I'm pretty sure, Severis down the sideline. Might as well watch the finish. It's a great finish. But if we have a look at it from the front-on view, when this pops up, you'll see just that small little shift pass. So we see a player in space. Ethan Blackadder thinks, well, I know that Richie's going to be there for the offload, so let's punch my nose through contact, reach forward with the offload, and find the ball player. So a shape that we've all seen before, something that is so common, being used by one of the best attacking teams in the world, that we all use as well. But just the ability to ball play, have time, and manipulate a defender to find it. I just want to show you this example again. So now we've got that exact same setup. We've hit the middle person. I love this little show of the ball here. So a dummy pass or showing. Not enough players use deception in their game. We've shifted this defender out. Again, I'm going to poke my body and nose through the gap. And 8, instead of looking to clean out and just get in behind, is in an offload mindset. And I think it's something the Crusaders do really well, is that we're looking for offload and keep ball alive before any other opportunities. And another try comes from that. So we've just seen 2 tries in the same game come from the most basic setup that there is in rugby. We've all seen it. We're doing it all at under 8s. So that is the 1-3-3-1 shape. It's so basic, but yes, pro teams use it and use it really effectively. So if you are using it or playing in it, I'd really encourage you to try take it to the next level and build it with deception, build it with getting through, getting arms free. If you've got taller players in that middle 6, making them more explosive. And if those, so 1-3-3-1, those 2 1s on the edges, they don't have to just stay there. Go looking for work inside, outsides. Those examples that I showed of freeing up 10s, and your attack just becomes a lot more dynamic. So I hope that helped. Please ask any questions below about shape, or maybe anything that you'd like to see in future attack videos. Happy to cover off a few things and a few of my learnings as a player, and now getting into the coaching game. I'd love to help share it as well. Last thing, thanks so much for being a part of the Bricks Club. Cool to see a few new faces pop up this week. Please share it with other coaches, teammates, rugby lovers. I'm really trying to build this Bricks Club. And if there are things that you guys want, if there's things, products, or anything around any of the programs as well, the reason why I'm building this really cool, tight-knit rugby lovers, rugby Bricks lovers community is so that we can help grow the brand together. And we're already doing some pretty special things. So keep out working, keep out learning, and thanks for being a member of the Bricks Club. We'll see you next week.